Hey, Ali, don't you feel ashamed for what you've done? Do you understand how much of a pain you are to others? Huh? What's gotten into you all of a sudden? How lame is it to be living unmarried and at your parents' house when you're 41 years old? Do you understand how much of a burden you are to our family? I don't think I'm a burden. The fact that you still live at home is embarrassing, which is a burden in and of itself. It's not normal for people to live at home at that age. I'm living at home, but most of the time I'm not even there. I also bring home money to support the family. You'll have no right as my older sister to complain about me. I'm embarrassed having you as a part of the family. You're a failure because you're still living in at home. Are you even listening to what I'm saying? You're a failure. That's why you can't get married. Popular girls like me can get married really quickly. Oh, really? You're right that you got married and had kids. And maybe our parents are grateful for that. But since I can't contribute in that same way, I have been giving mom and dad money. You're not doing that now, are you? You keep complaining about me. But you're also over 40 now. And since you're my older sister, you've lived even more than me. But even though you're the older sister, you and your husband still haven't sent our parents any money. What's up with that? I have no idea what you're talking about, so I'm not responding. Don't ignore me. You just won't reply because I'm right. I'm not gonna play your little games. You're not even willing to listen to what I have to say. You know that I'm right. You're the one who's not willing to listen to what I have to say. I've kicked you out of mom and dad's house. Huh? What do you mean you kicked me out? You're not home now, right? I've told you a million times that I don't go home often, since I have to go on international business trips frequently. Are you saying that to brag? I'll have you known that nothing about that is worth bragging about. For me, having your own family is what truly can bring you happiness. You might be right. But everyone's values are different. I can't deny your way of thinking. So can you not accept my way of life? A 40-something-year-old unmarried woman like you serves no purpose. Are you listening? You're trash. Actually, some trash might be more valuable than you. How long are you going to berate me until you're satisfied? You're on a business trip right now, correct? You've worked all your life, and now you're 40. What's fun about a life like that? You really don't have to say that. I'm busy now, so are you done? If you want to keep talking, whatever. My husband and I are considering moving in with mom and dad. What? Really? That's why mom and dad said that they'll refuse to take any more money from you. You probably weren't giving them much anyways. We talked about inheritance too. They said they don't want you to claim the right to anything. So we're cutting ties off with you. Just treat us like strangers from now on, okay? Huh? Why were you guys talking about inheritance? Mom and dad are still healthy, right? This is regarding future business. I don't want you to steal the inheritance from mom and dad. I'm the one who deserves it anyways. I get what you're saying, but I never had any intentions of claiming the right to the inheritance anyways. So then, why do I have to break off ties with the family? All I was doing was sending our parents some extra money. I've made it so that they cut off all ties with you, because I never want to see you again. Let's talk about this when I return home. I'll listen to what you want. This isn't something meant to be discussed over text. We should talk about this more calmly. If you want to move in with mom and dad, then that's fine. Do what you want. You don't seem to understand. You being there is a burden. Are you really going to say that? I had no intention of burdening anyone. Even if you didn't mean to be a burden, you are one. I'm done speaking with you. Why don't you go back to work? That's all you're good for anyways. I was gonna get back to work anyways. Don't be so nasty. My husband agrees with me. He thinks you're weird. Why would he say something so rude? I've barely even met with him, yet he says that about me? That's because it's weird for someone to be in their 40s, unmarried, and living with their parents. You boasting about how you give money to mom and dad is also a joke. Feel free to say whatever you want, but you have no right to say any of those things. Who does your husband even think he is? Don't make fun of my husband. Then how about you don't make fun of me? We need time to seriously talk this through. Talk to you later. My husband and I are moving in with Mom and Dad today. You'll have nowhere to live now. Huh? Seriously? I told you we should talk this through. Did you forget? There's nothing worth discussing with you. I've already thrown away your belongings. Huh? I know you looked down on me, but did you really have to go that far? While you were on your international business trip, I threw away everything into the dumpster. Since you always brag about your business trips. You're a good-for-nothing woman that still depends on her parents after hitting 40. Never come back. You should be ashamed of yourself. Throwing everything in the dumpster, wasn't that a hustle for you? It was, but it was worth it because now I can cut off ties from you. Did Mom and Dad agree to you doing this? They were on the fence about it at first, but they eventually came around. They did it so that you can become independent. Stop letting our parents support you and live on your own for once. Just because you're giving Mom and Dad money doesn't mean anything. You need to live independently. Did you seriously throw everything away? Yep. I did it while you were on your little trip. You're a parasite living off of Mom and Dad. Don't come home. Thanks. You made things easier for me. Huh? I said that I was going on a business trip, but I'm actually working here indefinitely and had no plans of going back. Huh? What do you mean? I used to go on international trips and return home when I got back into the country. But if I was living there full-time, then wouldn't I have had to pay rent? I don't understand. What are you even saying? So you're telling me that you weren't actually living there in the first place? Well, of course I would return home for short periods of time when I'd come back. But I never intended on fully living there. I already have a house in Paris. Huh? You have a house in Paris? I didn't tell you. I bought it last year. I was always moving between New York, London, and Paris. But from now on, I'd like to settle down in Paris. That's why I ended up buying the house. I don't understand what you're saying. How can you afford to buy a house in Paris? How? Well, I am working. I also just simply wanted to send money home to Mom and Dad. I pretended that it was for rent. Well, if Mom and Dad don't care anymore, then that's fine. I won't be planning on living there ever again anyways. I'm actually grateful that you cleaned up my room for me. Thanks. So you never planned on taking Mom and Dad's house as your own? Why would I do such a thing? I don't think I said anything about doing that. Yeah, you didn't say anything, but I didn't even know you wanted the house. If Mom and Dad are okay with you living there, then I don't have any complaints. Just do whatever you want, Mia. Huh? So what was I trying to compete for? I have no idea. I think it's respectable that you're raising your 2 kids, but I don't like being told what to do by you. If you want to break off ties with me, then go ahead. Of course, I'll stop sending money just like you said I should. In return, you threatened me to not take any of the inheritance, right? Yeah. What's even there to be inherited? Mom and Dad are just living off their pension. I don't think there will be anything left to give to us besides the house. I never planned on receiving the house anyways. So you really didn't have to compete with anyone. How could I have known? Does living off their pension really mean that they don't have much extra money? I suspected that you were surely using our parent savings to go abroad since you go so often. Come on, you seriously know nothing about me. What do you mean? I've worked so hard to the point that they put me in magazines. I'm practically famous. You seriously know nothing. What? You're famous? I go by the name Arena. If you Google me, stuff should come up. I have tens of thousands of followers on social media. What do you mean? What kind of job do you even have? I'm a designer. The fact that you don't know is shocking. Huh? You're a designer? I've never heard this before. From your perspective, I'm just a 40-something-year-old who's unmarried and likes to have fun abroad. You think I'm some good-for-nothing loser that uses her parents' money to mess around. That's how it seemed. I'm sorry, but that's so far from the truth. I used the money I made to go abroad and learn. And now I've made it. By the way, I'm not lonely. I have a partner. What? A partner? We've been partners for a while now, but we just got engaged. Hold on, I just checked on Instagram. You're engaged to this good-looking guy? This must be a joke. It's not a joke. I'm sorry, but my life is a lot more fulfilling than you thought it was. There's no way that you can be engaged to some extremely handsome guy while I was cheated on by my shabby husband. And my life isn't going well? My husband quit his job and he returned to his hometown so that he can get by without paying rent. How come you're the one who gets to live a happy life? That's not fair. Can you calm down? What are you trying to say? You proclaimed that I would be kicked out of Mom and Dad's house and cut off from the family. Then you threw all my stuff out of the house. But now you're jealous? Please, get yourself together. Have you ever thought that maybe the reason you're in this situation is the result of your own actions? What are you saying? There's nothing more that I can do for you. You and your husband can take care of our parents. That's what you wanted, right? In the meantime, I'll be living happily in Paris. Bye. I'll probably never see you again. We learned about Allie's situation and how she was always looked down upon, and her older sister Mia, who went crazy from jealousy. Their parents lived on a tight budget, sustaining their livelihoods through their pension. Mia later realized that living with her parents wouldn't allow her to gain any money. In the end, her husband cheated on her, so she left. She took care of her kids at home with her parents, and even got a job to make some money. This made Mia realize that she should have tried to get along better with her little sister and communicated with her more. It's times of need when she regrets not forming a bond with her sister. She especially regretted things when she saw Allie come on TV. Allie is so far out of reach to her now. Her family regrets not treating her well. They should have realized this sooner.